Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday, October 7th. Hopefully, you're all doing well. As you can see, I have a bit of a different background behind me. Just that's because I'm still traveling. Hopefully, you can't hear all that road noise in the back. Lots of ambulances going by. I'm still in Mexico City here, so I'm just enjoying the last weeks of my vacation, and then I'll be back to Canada. Today, I wanted to make a video on the difference between using your career and becoming a lifelong career person. So, what am I doing to combat the feelings of being a bit dead inside when working on working in that corporate career? I think that's what I was going through when I made that corporate misery video. That I was feeling really kind of drained by my job, and that besides the job itself, I didn't really have much going on. Not because I didn't want to, but just because it was taking up so much time. So, in this video, I want to talk about some things that you and I can do in order to kind of mentally refortify ourselves in working these types of jobs. So, besides financial investing, which I won't touch on in this video, we've talked about that slightly before, and there's lots of videos on that as well. I'm not going to repeat it here. What can we do to keep ourselves strong within these environments? Part number one: 100% disconnection from your workplace. If you're fortunate enough to be in a place where you're done for the day, this won't apply for you. If you work at 9 to 5 and you can leave your work laptop at the office and you don't have to check emails at night or the weekends, that's great. But for the majority of people, at least in professional careers, I've noticed that people will be answering emails at 10, 11 p.m., logging on Sunday afternoons to try to catch up before the start of the next work week. To me, that's just not sustainable. While things like, yoga classes, stretching, mobility, reading books in a library or your home can help relax you, at least for me, I just found it wasn't enough. I found the stressors of the workplace still kind of continued to follow me. So therefore, I had to take some time to have a physical and digital separation from my career place. Now, I'm fortunate enough that I could take this vacation. Not everyone can. So kind of do what you can, right? Even if you can't take a vacation, at least try to disassociate yourself from your normal daily life. So what I mean is, maybe you have that 1 week off, take it, and instead of just staying in your apartment for that week, try to do new things, right? Go out to the park, break your routine, go try a new gym, or do something different, right? Just to break that habit. It may not be as good as a vacation or being able to go and travel somewhere else, but hey, it's better than doing nothing. You've set that out of office alert. You have that backup contact. Go ahead and use it, guilt free. Trust me, your mind will thank you later. Point number two: time for hobbies. Again, this is kind of an extremely simple one, but it's often overlooked. It's easy to become the guy that just goes to the office and goes to the gym and doesn't really have a life outside of that because you're so exhausted, mentally drained, and trying to reset after the work week. I know just because I was that person for years. I gave up a lot of my hobbies. So, yeah, you don't want to become that work and gym personality guy. When someone says, hey, what do you do outside of work? Oh, I go to the gym. Okay, what else? Blank stare, no comments. You don't want to be that person. So, I get it. When you work a job, sometimes it can be so mentally and or physically stressful that all you have time for is a quick workout either before or after your job. So that, on your weekends or your time away from work during the weekday nights, you don't really feel like you have time to engage in a more like mentally straining hobby. Now, when we combined the time for disconnection, I do think we can gain some of that energy back to explore new hobbies. So you might be that work and gym personality type of person, but if you have that time to disassociate, then you might be able to have some of that mental energy come back to you so that you can explore new hobbies. For me, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Obviously, this comes up to the individual. But for me, this includes things like collecting Yu-Gi-Oh and or Pokemon cards, going to golf, either to the driving range, pitch and putt, or a full course, cooking new recipes, reading, writing, making these videos. And previously, I used to do boxing classes and hot yoga classes. Getting out there, breaking a routine, and forming new hobbies will help strengthen your mental fortitude. Point number three: time for self-reflection. Now, after disconnecting, it's wise to reflect on what you want, not what society wants, what you actually want. No one can answer this except for you. However, many people have said before that they value things like family, friends, your health, and loving relationships. Now, also, when you reflect on your life and what you want out of it, it will actually help you with point number two. It'll help you define what type of hobbies you want to explore, right? So if you're reflecting, like, hey, I really want to, improve my health, right? And that's what I want to do. So having a more active, healthy lifestyle is important to me. So going to the different gyms and, making sure I get lots of steps in and exploring new sports and stuff like that is something I want to do to help my health improve, right? So that's one thing you do. Now, how do you self-reflect? There's a bunch of different ways. Obviously, the one I've done a lot is through journaling. And so actually I started journaling like probably 7 years ago, just out of boredom, and then just kind of kept up with it here and then. And then from that, I actually used some of my journals to draft these video scripts. And then, I would use these video scripts then now to engage with my audience here. So that's one thing you could do. Now, maybe you're not as outgoing as I, and maybe you're more self-reflective. So you can just stick to the journal, and then you can use this to supplement it with other one-on-one conversations with a close friend or family member, or seek professional help. Now, those both have their pros and cons. Obviously, the pros of family and friends is that they know you, they're going to be loving and caring. But sometimes if they're too close to you, they won't understand what you're trying to get at. If it's about them specifically, obviously you can't gossip to them about their behavior, right? So that's going to be difficult. And obviously with the pros and cons with a professional is that, they can do work and they really got their jobs, but at the same time, they're expensive, and not all psychologists and or mental health professionals will have the same training and background. So in that profession, there's something called a modality. So it's different ways to engage your patients. If you're looking for a mental health professional, there's a lot of kind of trial and error with it. It's very rare that you'll find the first person and be like, okay, this is my person forever. No, it's not like that. Disassociating from your professional life is key to keeping a strong mind while working in a corporate environment. Whether this is through complete dissociations with your office and your work, building new hobbies, or time for self-reflection, these are three key elements I'm using myself to not let work become all-encompassing. So if you like this video, leave a comment below. Tell me what you did and didn't like. Drop me a like if you can. And talk to you again in the next video.